It's Saturday, March 31st, and welcome to my shop. I got out here a little late today because I had to go to a birthday party, a very important birthday party earlier this morning. But I got out here and the grass is growing. You know, tomorrow's April 1st. And so it's going to be mowing time. You all know what that's like. But I've got a little flying field out there that I need to keep mowed, because that's where I fly my RC model airplanes. So I thought I'd get out there this morning while it's sun shining and get that mowed. And now I just want to show you a couple things on these two cars that I brought back last week. This is the 1968 280S W108. And if you look at this thing close, it's got some real big pluses, but it's also got some gigantic negatives. So we're going to do a quick walk around on this one. I'll show you what I've discovered since I got it back last Saturday. And then we drove home that 300D. Once again, with these old diesels, the engine, the health of the engine is the most important thing to consider. I would say the biggest plus on this car is the condition of the body and the paint. This is all original paint. The only rust on this car are a few spots of surface rust under that lower chrome strip. But you cannot believe how straight these panels are. I mean, there's never been any repaint. There's no door dings in these doors. And the chrome, all the aluminum trim is in excellent condition. Look at these headlight bezels right here. Can you believe that? And then I pulled out the headlight assemblies and look what these look like. These are absolutely amazing. And the bumpers are, and look, you got to look at this grill shell. That grill shell is amazing. And then I checked over the speedometer showing 67,000 miles, and I think that's probably accurate from what I know from the family. It hadn't been driven very much before it was parked in that garage in 1978, so it's been inside. And this is how nice a car like this can be. And I'm sure some of you are thinking, well, this car has to be saved. It's so nice. I mean, even the turn signal lenses, there's no crazing. They're like NOS brand new. The hubcaps are really nice. All the door handles, all the glass. But look at the interior. Now, this interior is very special. There's not even any wear marks on these front seats. And you can see the dash is in excellent condition with no cracks. The wood is nice. The wood's excellent around all the door frames. And other than having some dirt on it, the back seat doesn't even look like it's ever been sat in. The MB-Tex vinyl is still very soft. There's no dried sections. And like I said, the door panels are just as nice. And so what do I think about the restoration prospects for this car? Well, this is a tough one. Let me take you inside the shop and show you some more. Now you're looking at just 2 of the 10 tubs of parts that I brought home with this car. We have all kinds of goodies in here. Bags and bags. Here's hardware. There's fuel line clamps. Here's every rubber part, rubber grommet, rubber body plug, whatever came off the car. We've got electrical parts, all the relays, switches, and everything. And it just goes on and on and on. Earlier in the video, I mentioned the importance of checking out the engines when you go to buy one of these old diesels. Some of you may say, well, isn't it more important to check for rust and some of these other issues? I disagree. You can't believe how many emails I have received over the years from customers who have bought these old W123, early W126 and 116 diesels. They've brought them home. They've put hundreds of dollars into them, you know, new suspension, new brakes, you know, fix the car all up, only to have winter come and find out the engine won't start when it's cold out. And then they do some more research and they find out their diesel engine is worn out. And they're just fit to be tied because somebody told them these engines are supposed to go 1,000,000 miles. Well, you've heard me say this before. That's not true if they haven't been maintained. So it's extremely important that you try to determine the health of the engine itself when you go look at one of these diesels. Now, one of the jokes we make is you'll see a lot of these Mercedes diesels for sale in late September, early October. Because when the compression gets weak, they won't start in November and December, particularly a lot of the states where the temperatures get cold. And that's the sure sign. Obviously, if you have bad glow plugs. But if you take an engine like this and you put new glow plugs in it and you know you're getting fuel and it just cranks and sputters and coughs, you know, the first thing you need to do is a compression test because you probably have weak compression and that's why the engine won't start when it's cold. Okay, the glow plug light is off. What do you think of that? Any of you diesel heads will say, wow, that's pretty good. Now, once again, we don't know the mileage on this engine. The odometer quit working at 227,000 miles. I'm not concerned about that right now. I'm concerned about how it fired and how it ran after it fired. And now I'm looking at the exhaust. That's real important. As soon as it starts, when it's cold, you get out and look at the exhaust. And I've said this in my other videos. One of the key wear points are the piston rings. And when the piston rings start wearing, you're going to get weak compression, which makes the engine hard to start. In these old diesel engines, it's piston, ring, and cylinder wall wear. When that happens, they're hard starting, they burn oil, and they don't get very good fuel economies. I did another video on this subject, and I'm going to put a link below in the description of this video, and you can listen to me lecture about this a little bit more. So other than sorting a bunch of tubs of parts today, I'm not going to have a whole lot of time to work on cars because it's so late already in the afternoon. But I did want to show you the new lathe that I picked up this past week. This is a beauty. I mean, our other lathe is finally starting to wear out. But when I saw this available, I said, I've got to have it. It's over 1,000 pounds, has electronic speed control, and a whole toolbox full of bits and tools that go with this lathe. So this is really going to help us. We get this set up, it's going to really be a plus in our tool production here in our shop. But it was a little bit challenging to get this thing, okay? I don't have a forklift, and it was in a garage. So we had to get my son's truck, go over there, and we had to use an engine hoist to strap this thing up and set it into the truck. And then when we brought it back to the shop, of course it was raining, so we had to tarp it up. We brought it back to the shop, we had to back it in, we raised the car lift, and we rigged up the arms on the car lift to lift this out of the truck and get it on this heavy, very heavy cart. So we're going to have to get this back into the back, you know, our hidden room back there, and get this raised up. We're going to have to use an engine hoist to get it up on the workbench. We're really looking forward to using this, and in a future video I'll let you see this thing doing its job. There's always something I have to pack up and haul off on a Saturday, and today it's these Airmatic rear air shocks that I just removed from a W220. So if you're interested in finding out some of the problems I ran into when I did these rear air shocks, be sure and check out my other videos. I'll put some links in the description below. These are the used cores, and they're going back to the manufacturer for a core refund. Yesterday I was able to drag the Land Cruiser into the shop and get it up on the lift. And you know the old saying, curiosity killed the cat. I think I'm as curious as anyone to try to figure out what is the cause behind that loud engine knock. If you've been following the series, you know, it's turned into a mystery. Some people have said, wow, keep it coming, Ken. It's like, we can't wait for the next episode. Well, whatever. But I want to find out, too. I really don't have time to work on this engine. But both Josh and I says, we got to figure this one out because it's quite intriguing, okay? But I can't work on it today. I'm running out of time. And it's not going to be that easy. Because for me to really find out what's going on underneath the engine or inside the engine, I've got to pull the main section of the pan here. You can see here we've pulled that small metal section of the subpan, but there's no access. You can't even see up in there. I certainly can't get up in there and, you know, see if there's loose rods or pistons that are bad or scored cylinder walls. There's no way to know. So I've got to pull the pan. And I want to pull the pan, but it's not going to be easy. I mean, we're not going to get it whipped out in an hour. So this is something we're going to do next week, by the way. Just for those of you who just can't wait for the next episode. There's a couple other things I want to talk about, but I'm going to have Jerson work on this next week when he has time to pull that pan off. We're going to have to lift the engine up a little bit to get it off, but then we'll have full access to the crankshaft, all the bearings. We can see up into the cylinder walls. We can inspect the gears for the oil pump drive and so on. So we're down to about 3 potential causes of this noise. A number of experts on Toyotas have chimed in. I'm going to go over those with you, and then it's going to be kind of fun to see what it actually turns out to be. So I'm looking at the clock now. Now it's 6 o'clock. I think I need to roll out. The sun's out, so once again, you can guess which car I'm going to be driving. So I'm going to be cruising home tonight with the top down. And I just want to let you know that I won't be able to do consecutive Saturday at Kent's Shop videos in the next few months because I've got a little project I'm working on up in the mountains, and that's going to take a lot of my time. So I will come in and share with you some things we're doing around the shop from time to time, but at least for now, I cannot guarantee that there'll be a Saturday episode next week. But I do want to wish all of you a very good week and safe motoring always.